From Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, WHCS Channel 5 presents Peninsula District Football, the Kecoughtan Warriors and the Warwick Raiders. This game taped on the 2nd of November, 1990. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz, and we are set for tonight's game between the second-place tied teams, the Kecoughtan Warriors with identical 6-2, 5-2 records with the Warwick Raiders. And Bob, we should have a real good ball game again. We've had them almost every time this year.
And I was talking to Bill Lyons earlier, and this is just like another playoff game to him. He's got to win. The Division 5 is real tight. Bill cannot lose another game and make it to the playoffs, where Kecoughtan could lose and make it, but Kecoughtan doesn't want to lose. They want to get the winning thing going and just carry it right on into the playoffs. So it's going to be a great game.
The Warriors, of course, are 5-2 in the district, 6-2 overall, as is Warwick. Warwick coming off of a huge victory over previously undefeated Phoebus last week. I read the paper, and I'm sure that Bill Lyons alluded to it. He's got to be sure his boys don't have a letdown.
Right. Monday's practice was a little suspect. The kids, you know, it's hard to get them back up there on such a high after that ball game, but he knows that for these kids to continue on, they're going to have to win. They're going to have to play one game at a time, and if he uses a mentality of playoff game, playoff game, playoff game, then they know the importance of it, and I think that's what Bill's doing.
Well, right now we're going to go back in time, as you had a chance to talk with Bill Lyons just a little while ago. Let's go back in time for that interview.
Hi, Bob Hintz here with Coach Bill Lyons of Warwick. Coach, congratulations on a fine victory last week. Hi, Bob Hintz here with Coach Bill Lyons of Warwick. Coach, congratulations on a fine victory last week.
Thank you. Yeah, that's over. We got another one this week.
Well, we was talking earlier, each game is a playoff game for you.
That's right. Every game we've played here has been a big game. Starting back with the Hampton ball game back in September, and, you know, Phoebus last week, now Kecoughtan this week, and you know, we've got our work cut out for us.
We was real impressed, we being the people in the on TV, of Mr. Yarborough. He played just a fantastic game last week.
William's a three-year starter, and it's the kind of play that we've come to expect from him. He's been sort of a sleeper this year. He's had several nagging injuries, you know, groins and flexors and that kind of thing. It just makes it hard to really have a top-notch performance. Last week he probably felt as good as he's felt, and fortunately, you know, it couldn't have come in a better game.
I was going to say, that's a nice timing, but he made a tremendous block on that run back that Jernigan made.
Sure did, and he came from a good piece back to get that block, and it's a credit to the youngster. He's a hard worker, and he would have been a great track man had he been able to stay healthy and run, but he'll be out in track again this year.
Right. Well, let me ask you a little bit about Kecoughtan. They're very similar to you.
Very similar. I think their strong suit is that they run the dive as well as anybody in football, and if you're not disciplined in playing the dive in their option, it hurts you badly. It's a little different than the wishbone dive because of the fact that wishbone comes from inside out.
Right.
The split back dive comes straight at you, and you've got to have somebody there.
Let me ask you, what do you think is Kecoughtan's strongest point, what you're really going to have to concentrate on?
Well, their running game. You've got two backs in the backfield that rush for over 1,100 yards. And, you know, that speaks for itself. And then you add to that the Jordan youngster, who's improved steadily over this season. He now is getting the ball to where receivers, you know, it's at the receiver.
Right.
And it's up to the receiver now to make the catch. So, you know, that puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Sure does. Now, let me ask you a little bit about your quarterback. I know he left the field last week. He got knocked out in the game. Tell me a little bit about Mario.
He's fine. He came back Monday, did not practice in terms of contact. He worked out. We did not allow any contact. Had still a slight headache, nothing though that was intolerable. And then Tuesday had contact, has been fine. So he's had a good week.
Of course, Bill Lyons has the luxury of having a very versatile offense with the Haskett brothers, Mario at quarterback, Melvin running. It should be an explosive attack for the Warriors.
Oh, they've got such great people at the skill positions, and all the coaches in the Peninsula had said this earlier in the year, that Warwick has got the best field position ball players of anybody. They are very excited. They're a big play team. And this is one thing Kecoughtan's going to have to do, is not let them get that big play.
Well, we're going to have a chance now to listen to an interview that you had with Kurt Newsom a little while ago, the head coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Bob Hintz here with Coach Kurt Newsom of Kecoughtan. Coach, congratulations on a fine season. You're playing a team that's got an identical record to you.
We're playing a good football team tonight, and, you know, it's got playoff aspirations on the line, so we've got to come out and play a good football game tonight.
Well, Bill said that he's been telling the kids every week now it's a playoff game, because if he don't make it, you don't get into playoffs almost.
We started with that after the Phoebus football game, and we knew that our backs were to the wall, and every one is a playoff situation.
What do you look to stop tonight if you got to stop this team that's very similar to yours?
Well, their passing game, their deep threats. They've got some kids that can run out on the corner, and they've got great skill people. Their quarterback does a good job. They got two real good veer backs, and Hooker on the outside of the receiver is as good as anybody.
Right. Now, your team defense has done well all year.
We hadn't given up a lot of points. We've given up some yardage, and we've got to stay away from the big play in the passing game tonight. And they like to get outside on the option, and we are proud of our defense, but we've got a tough road to hoe in front of us.
What are you going to have to do to stop them? Keep them off the field?
Well, we'd like to keep the football as long as possible. You know, that's pretty much our offensive philosophy against anybody we play. We like to come right at people, and if we're successful at that, we keep the ball and the clock rolling.
Well, you've got some good coaches done a good job for you this year.
Got a great staff. Coach Pauls has come back and been a great help with the offensive line. Coach Horton with the defense has worked real hard, and Coach Conrad is kind of the glue out there that keeps everything together.
Well, listen, good luck to you, and hope to see you after the ball game.
Thank you a whole lot.
Well, Bob, it seems like we've had a must-do game, 3 weeks in a row now. We've had undefeated games. We've had one-loss type situations. Now we've got two teams that are battling for a playoff position. This is kind of like a playoff game. It should be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be a great game. You look at the two teams both of them got great defenses. It's going to be which team can get their offense cranking and just control the ball and keep the other team's offense off the field. If Kecoughtan can keep Warwick's offense off the field, vice versa, then that team's going to win.
All right, we've got great weather for tonight's game. Temperature in the low 70s. A lot better than last week.
Yeah, I was a little snake bit last week.
Okay, we'll be back with the start of tonight's game right after this brief timeout.
We're the Kecoughtan Cheerleaders! There's no sports coverage like the coverage on WHCS. TV5!
Back at Darling Stadium, as you see the color guard bringing on the flags, and we're momentarily going to have the playing of the national anthem by the Kecoughtan High School Marching Band. The crowd is continuing to file in here at Darling Stadium. Actually, I'm a bit surprised, Bob, we don't have a lot more people here, since this is really a good ball game. The Warwick side of the field is almost empty.
Yeah, it really is, and I talked to Bill Lyons about this earlier, and of course they're disappointed they don't have more people come to the ball games, but if you remember that Hampton game, this place was packed when Hampton played Warwick, so it'll fill up before the night's over. Maybe not as many as on the Kecoughtan side, but we'll definitely have it's beautiful weather tonight. There's a very little bit of breeze, and the breeze is very up high, shielded by the stand, so I don't think down on the field he's going to be bothered by any breeze at all like we were last week.
And of course we do welcome Channel 36 to our cable cast, as we are now being seen in both Hampton and the Newport News, and we're very appreciative of that fact. We also would like to continue to solicit comments from all of you fans who watch us here on Channel 5 and Channel 36. And we'll get back to that in just a moment. As you can see, we are about set to have our pregame ceremonies started.
High School Warriors. The colors tonight are presented by the Kecoughtan High School Junior ROTC color
You may have heard the Kecoughtan Junior ROTC is presenting the colors tonight, and let's now join in the playing of our national anthem.
Our national anthem. Wait.
course, that is the Kecoughtan High School Marching Band and the cheerleaders and drum majorettes. This game, Bob, as you mentioned in the pregame show, as we mentioned, this game has an awful lot of, I guess, ramifications to how far these teams will go and how they'll be matched up as far as postseason play. This game next to the last game of the season.
Well, when you get into this end of the season and you've got two teams that are tied for second place, this is a very, very big game. One of the things that they talked about Kecoughtan was Kecoughtan had not beaten anybody that had a winning record yet. And a lot of people think Kecoughtan is suspect. I don't think Kecoughtan is suspect. I think Kecoughtan's got an excellent football team. They have lost two real tough games. One to a good Phoebus team and one to a good Hampton team. So you can say what you want. This is going to be a great game. Both of these teams are fired up and ready to win this game tonight.
While we have a little extra time, we'll go ahead and give you the standings of the Peninsula District as we see the officials for tonight's game. And while we'll do that, a little bit of business first. And we'll tell you that our officials for tonight's game, there you see Kenny Self will be our referee. Don Hurst is the umpire. Tony Brown is the linesman. Richard Rawls is the line judge. Bernie Riesbeck will be the back judge. And Sonny Overbay will be the timekeeper for tonight's game. So the Zebras are over on the far side getting their act together. And I'll tell you that there's a tie for first place. That's between Phoebus and Hampton in the Peninsula District at 6-1, 7-1 overall. Then, of course, the Warriors and the Raiders tied with identical 5-2, 6-2 overall records. Then in third place, the Bethel Bruins with a 4-3 record in the league, 4-4 overall. Ferguson 3-4, 4-4 overall, and they are tied with Denby for that position. Gloucester, first year in the Peninsula Group 3A, has recorded 2 victories against 5 defeats in the district and 2-6 overall. Lafayette 1-6 in the district, and they're 2-6 overall. And then Menchville yet to win in the Peninsula District, and they do have 1 win outside the district. They are 1-7. In the state Group AAA standings, T.C. Williams, as of this week, ranked number 1 in the state. Then Heritage, E.C. Glass, Potomac, Woodrow Wilson of Wilson over in Portsmouth, number 5. Then the Hampton Crabbers ranked number 6. Deep Creek, number 7. Annandale, number 8. First Colonial, number 9. And the Phoebus Phantoms ranked number 10 with a 7-1 record. The Warwick Raiders did receive votes, but finished outside the top 10 in the state listings. Both teams are making their way onto the field, and we'll have the teams there. You see the Warwick Raiders as they will be coming into the end of the field to our right, and there you see the Kecoughtan Warriors. As the Warriors, the green-clad Warriors, of course, the home team here tonight at Darling Stadium.
This is, again, it's going to be a very important game. Both teams have great defenses. They're going to have to stop the other team's offense because they both can put some points on the board. Coach Newsom said earlier that his team gives up some yards, but they don't give up a lot of points, and that's one of the keys. Their defense bends, but it doesn't break very often. And they're going to have to play excellent ball against a fine Warwick team that has some great people at the skill positions.
We'd like to make you aware of the fact that we'd love to give you one of our Channel 5 schedules if you live in Hampton. However, we are no longer able to mail out copies. You may pick up a Channel 5 schedule by coming to the office located at 1819 Nickerson Boulevard in Hampton between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. You can also pick up your Channel 5 programming schedules at any of the following locations: Old Point National Bank, 6 Hampton locations; Hampton Roads Education Credit Union; Zoom's Pop-In Stores, 7 locations in Hampton; Food Lion Stores in the Nickerson Plaza; Hopgood's Groceries in Buckrow, and all branches of the Hampton Public Library. Let's mention, if we may, Bob, while we have the opportunity, the coaching staffs for our 2 teams, as they'll be making their way out to the center of the field momentarily. We hope you can hear us okay.
Well, I hope the drums stop pretty well, because I can't hear words you're saying.
There we go. That sounds good. Turn them off. For the Warriors, of course, head coach Kurt Newsom. He is helped out by Revis Conrad, Mike Horton, Al Morrow, and Johnny Pauls.
And there you can see them. That's a good coaching staff.
And there you see a large contingent of Kecoughtan Warriors meeting with Kenny Self. Let's listen in.
Captain Haskett, Captain Hooker and Haskett, meet Captain Bembry, Captain Thomas, Captain Williams, and Captain Porter.
Number 75, Tyrell Porter.
Okay, the point here, we'll hit on one side, a tail on one side. I've got to catch it. If I don't catch it, we'll flip it again, okay? Ball it in the air. We called ahead. You won the toss. You elected to receive. You elected to defend this goal down here. Would you turn your backs around to these goals, please? This way. This way. All right. Won the toss and we'll receive. Let's have a good ball game, gentlemen.
Won the toss and have elected to receive.
So you heard Kenny Self as he explained the situation to you. The Raiders will receive the ball, and they will be going from our left to our right.
If we get a chance, maybe we can get the Warwick coaches up there. We give equal time to both coaching staffs.
That's right. There we go.
Bill Lyons, of course, is the head coach. Mike Feldman is one of his assistants. Dion Ruffin, Thomas Jackson, Purcell Carter, John Wright, and Karen Lau is the trainer. She was busy last week. Young Mr. Mario Haskett got knocked out on a good hit, helmet to helmet, but it was just wasn't a drastic thing. We were concerned when he left in the ambulance, but he's okay, as you heard on the interview with Coach Bill Lyons.
We're very glad to see that. We certainly don't want any player to ever get hurt, and certainly Mario Haskett, his departure for the Raiders would have created major problems for them in their quest to advance in postseason play. A reminder that you play 4 12-minute quarters in high school football. There are some other differences in the rules, and as we get into the ball game, we'll make you aware of those. This game recorded on the 2nd of November, 1990. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz. We're at Darling Stadium. And we are just about set to get this one underway as Todd Pope has the ball teed up for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
The last time we saw Warwick return a kickoff, they went all the way.
Let me check that. Eric Long, in fact, will kick off for the Warriors. Number 26, Long has it. It's a low line drive taken at the 18-yard line. And all the way out to the 38-yard line goes Melvin Haskett. On the run back, the Raiders will set up 1st and 10 at their 38-yard line.
Warwick Raiders will put the ball in play on their own 38-yard line.
There you see the Warwick Raider offense. We'll give you those names after this initial play. Now we have an official's timeout. All right, we'll give you the names on the offense as soon as they run this first play. Mario Haskett is the quarterback.
They got a double split on this side.
And the left-handed Haskett throws to Rogers, and Rogers will have almost enough, if not in fact enough, yes he will, a first down.
Well, he just made a quick cut to the outside and nobody's on him. There you see, go ahead with the offense.
Your offense center is Accurso, the guards are Lyons and Lane, Currier and Jones on the tackles. The tight end is Davis, the split end is Hooker. Haskett, that's Mario Haskett, is the quarterback. The halfback, Melvin. Halfback is Tremaine Jernigan, and Rogers, the flanker. And of course, Jernigan, you may recall, broke the back of the Phoebus Phantoms last week with an 87-yard touchdown. And this pass incomplete, as in the flat it was intended for Jamie Phillips. And he got the ball off the ground.
You can see right there what they're trying to do is we give you the Warrior defense. We've got Porter and Foster at the tackles, Johnson and Stacy at the ends. The inside linebackers are Thomas and Bembry. Outside linebackers are Patterson and Lewis. The corners are Jones and Thomas, and Corey Bonds is the safety. They're trying to loosen that defense up by passing. That was every play they've run so far has been a pass play.
2nd down and 10. This is Jernigan with the ball, and he'll get another first down across the 40 in Kecoughtan territory.
That was a nice hole opened up on the left-hand side of that offensive line for the Warriors. I think I could have got through that hole. Watch it on the replay. It's just a simple handoff to the deep back. It's actually a cross and a trap. Made a good cut, and that young man has got some speed, Jernigan.
Picks up a first down for the Raiders. Ball is at the Kecoughtan 40. Again, Haskett back to pass. Over the middle, incomplete, intended for number 35. That was Lamont Stokes coming across the middle.
I believe that time that Mario Haskett checked off at the line of scrimmage, he saw that end had that wideout had a clear shot on a crossing pattern, and that's what he called. It just was not a completed pass, but the young man was open.
Second down and 10. 10:28 left in the scoreless first quarter. Haskett has time, now steps up and will run the ball. And he gets good yardage. He's still on his feet, finally down at the 22-yard line. Another first down for the Warwick Raiders.
Well, that's one thing Kecoughtan's got to do is put pressure on the quarterback, but then when you put pressure on him, you can't let him escape and pick up that number of yardage that Mario Haskett did. Watch it on the replay. The defensive secondary did a good job, and the rush just overran Mario, and he gets a great block here. And made a nice cut, and he picked up a couple more yards.
Haskett has 310 yards rushing so far this season, so he's no stranger to the running attack. And this time he calls his own number as the ball will be about the 19-yard line, a pickup of about 3. Second down and 7 for the Raiders, mixing up their plays quite well at this point. Haskett has carried 86 times for 310 yards. Carried 14 times last week against Phoebus for 37 yards. Our thanks go out to our friends in the Daily Press for helping us with statistics for tonight's ballgame. Mario Haskett to Rogers at the 15, down to the 10, and another first down.
Tim, he was when he's catching the ball, nobody's within 5 or 7 yards of him. They're going to have to get a little tighter on those wideouts. They being the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Dedrick Rogers, coming into the game, had 12 catches for 119. And
look at how open he is, Tim.
And Haskett is pinpointing his passes on this drive. It's now a first and goal at the 10-yard line. Haskett checking off at the line of scrimmage. He splits the backfield. That's Melvin Haskett and Tremaine Jernigan. Mario Haskett keeps it himself inside the 5 to about the 3.
Again, he checked off the line of scrimmage. He saw something on the defense that allowed him to make that cut.
Ball is marked just short of the 2-yard line. Let's call it second down and goal at about the 3. Here you see the replay. Haskett follows Jernigan into the line. And finally, he is stopped by Lawrence Lewis, number 81. Again, Haskett shifting his backfield. Now he's got Jernigan rolling to his left, across the middle, touchdown!
And again, that was another check off at the line of scrimmage. That was a sprint out to the left. And you had a guy going across the middle. You had 2 men there, and the defenders were not aware of what was going on.
So Warwick made that one look easy.
Into attempt the extra point for the Warwick Raiders, number 16, Kevin Perry, number 8, Anthony Watson.
Melvin Haskett on the receiving end of the pass. The extra point try is good.
Extra point is good.
Watch this touchdown run. Well, actually a pass. Mario Haskett sprints out to the left. Being left-handed, he fires right back, and there are 2 wide open receivers, and a linebacker, number 52, was in position, but did not make the stop.
So the Warwick Raiders take the opening kickoff, and they drive the length of the field with the Haskett brothers connecting for the touchdown. And it is 7-0 Warwick with 8:09 remaining in the first quarter.
Number 16, Kevin Perry.
So Kevin Perry, who kicked the extra point, will tee the ball up. They went 63 yards on 9 plays. Took 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Actually, not quite that much. We got to get Gary Moore to understand there's only 12-minute quarters. 4:51, Gary. Gary Moore of Computerland with their superb computer system here will be giving us our statistics all night long. We thank Gary Moore and the fine folks at Computerland for all of their help. 8:09 to go in the first quarter. Kevin Perry kicks it, and it's fielded at the 9-yard line. This is Williams. Mike Williams still on his feet, gets to the outside, finally goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
Well, he did a great job because that middle was plugged up. He went in there, bounced out, took it to the right side, and picked up some additional yardage.
Stokes it on the stop for the Warwick Raiders.
And then we see the Warrior offense. We got Mitchell at center, Bryce to Thomas at the guards, Fowler and Seward at tackles, Thacker and Lewis at the ends, quarterback Jordan. Halfbacks are Key and Williams, and the flanker is Patterson.
This is Tony Jordan, and he keeps on the quarterback option. He is taken down by number 42, Damon Taylor, but not before picking up about 7 yards on the play.
Second and 3 for the Warriors.
Now the Raider defense, as the band finally stops, well, we get to the Raider defense after this play. 2nd down and 3 for the Raiders, for the Warriors. Pitch goes to Cal Key. He's trying to go wide. He does turn the corner, enough for the first down. Well, let me take that back. He may have gotten the first down. But
Oh, yeah, it depends on where the guy holding the marker dropped it. And
no, they didn't mark it that far. 46-yard line. Here's your defense. The tackles are Lyon and Accurso. The ends, Davis and Barnes. Linebackers, Alston and Taylor. The corners are Talley and Haskett. That's Melvin Haskett. Banks and Yarborough, the halfbacks. Watson is the safety. 3rd down and a yard to go. Tony Jordan does not get the first down as he was met at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Number 34 was there. James Talley did a fine job, among others, for the Warwick Raiders. I say he didn't get it. Now they're going to look at it, and no, they're well short of the first down.
he may have lost a half a yard on that play.
See, Talley here just stands him straight up at the line of scrimmage and does not allow him to go forward. So the Warriors will be in deep punt formation. Todd Pope averaging a little more than 31 yards per kick, and now the Warriors will call a timeout.
Tim, they don't have the 10 men on the line of scrimmage.
Didn't have enough men on the field.
I'm sorry, 10 men on the field.
So the Warriors use one of their 3 timeouts allotted during each half. And the Warriors need to get reorganized a bit here because the Raiders really are showing them the way here early in the ballgame.
They sure are. We want to have, well, we got this break in action. Let me talk about selecting the player of the game for the Hampton schools. We don't do this for the Newport News schools, only for the Hampton schools, and it's not a reflection on Newport News. We're a Hampton-based station. But the plaque that we will give the player of the game is donated by DC Engraving, which is a sample of mental photo. DC Engraving is located in York Village Shopping Center on Route 17 in Grafton. We also give a shirt, which is donated by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place in Willow Oaks. Another, well, we'll get to the rest of that after this play.
This is Kevin Spencer who is kicking instead of Todd Pope, and he has the kick blocked. And that ball has gone across the line of scrimmage and is a live ball that can belong to anyone. Let's see who has control of it.
Raiders ended up with control. What a big play for the Raiders to get such excellent field position right at the 50-yard line. That didn't look like anybody touched the punter. You got a left-footed punter. You got to have somebody blocking on that side, on the left-hand side. Now we got a momentary timeout.
And as I mentioned here, we'll get back to that in just a second. As I mentioned, the kicker was not the regular punter, at least not the one that was listed. Mario Haskett rolling, left-handed passer over the middle, tipped, and almost caught by a Warwick Raider.
And almost caught by number 21 for the Kecoughtan Raiders.
Warriors. I've done that twice too.
Warriors and Raiders. I want to just say Kecoughtan or Warwick.
There you go.
But
Tyrone Davis was the Raider who almost did it. Here's your replay.
Nice bit of faking by Haskett, but he did not fool two of the Warriors. But it went right off of 21's hand and almost completed.
Back to the live action. This is Mario Haskett for about 5. In on the stop was number 53, Vince Thomas for the Warriors. 5:59 remaining here in the first quarter. The Warwick Raiders took the opening kickoff and scored a touchdown, and they lead 7-0. Pass play from Mario Haskett to Melvin Haskett. Haskett, plenty of time, throws the ball too tall for Dedrick Rogers. He was well covered, but the pass was not even close to being.
Melvin Hooker on the left-hand side was wide open on the outside, but he'd already made up his mind who he's going to pass the ball to, and there were plenty of defenders around. Watch the replay. Mario just drops back. He has plenty of time, but when he throws the ball, there are 3 Warriors around the receiver, but it was, as you said, it was just too high.
4th down and 4 for Warwick. And the Raiders put some pressure on, but a good kick by the punter, Randy Harrell. And finally, it is downed at the 15-yard line by the Raiders.
Well, it took a Warrior bounce. There's a good shot at the sideline as Revis Conrad.
5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Warriors now will try and get on track. They were unable to move the ball in their first possession. And the quarterback remains Tony Jordan. It's the handoff to Cal Key. And Key picks up about 3.
Stops the play by number 2, Melvin Haskett.
Marking at about the 19-yard line, so making a 4-yard pickup for Cal Key.
Pickup of about 3 yards on the play. We'll bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Warriors.
Cal Key coming into this ball game had scored 40 points for the Warriors, and he was the 3rd leading rusher in the district, averaging a little more than 78 yards per game. This is Williams.
I believe it was a quarterback keeper. I believe that Jordan kept the ball. He faked the handoff to Williams and then followed Williams into the hole, Tim.
So Tony Jordan did in fact keep on the quarterback keeper.
You can see there, a good shot from our camera people who do excellent job week in and week out.
And now a momentary timeout again. We have an equipment problem with one of the Warwick Raiders. 3rd down and a long 2 for the Warriors. Clock moving with 4:15 remaining in the first quarter. This is Cal Key, and he will be close to the first down.
Well, he can get across the 25. Depends on where they mark it. They marked it short, so they will be 4th and very short, which brings up a punting situation. You don't want to do anything silly here and give the Raiders the ball on the 25-yard line. It looks like they're going to go for it, Tim.
Well, that's hard to believe. 4th and short at your own 25. Woo! Big play here, folks.
They might try to draw them offside.
They have to be. They got to be trying that. You knew they weren't going for it. If you don't make it, you might as well just give the other team 7 points. So the Raiders stayed at home. They would not fall for undoubtedly the hard call from Tony Jordan. Now Kurt Newsom will put his kicking team on and use his 2nd timeout here in the first quarter.
Well, while we have the second timeout, let me get back to the player of the game that we will pick. We'll also give him a shirt that will have player of the game.
Literally off your back, right?
Right, literally off. Yeah, well, maybe yours. They're pretty big guys out there. But anyway, the shirt is donated by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, which has a location in Willow Oak Shopping Center. Turner's also has 2 other locations to serve you. One in Denby Hardware and Sporting Goods, located in Denby Square, and the newest store is a sports place located in the shops at Hampton Harbor next to Hampton University. So we really like to thank those 2 fine establishments, DC Engraving and Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, for their donation of the plaque and the shirt.
This time, Todd Pope will be in deep punt formation instead of Kevin Spencer. And let's see if he has a little more success. Left-footed kicker gets a good high kick, good hang time. It's fielded by Tremaine Jernigan at the 39-yard line, and Jernigan returns the ball into Kecoughtan territory. At the 47-yard line, good field position once again for the Warwick Raiders. Michael Williams making the stop for the Warriors. Here's a chance to watch this again. Jernigan broke the back of the Falcons.
I don't know if you
last
saw it,
week.
but number 7 tackled the blocker. The blocker knocked him down, so he tackled him. That could have very well been a penalty on that play.
Mario Haskett keeps on the quarterback option and moves the ball down to the 41-yard line of Kecoughtan. Pickup of 7.
There's a shot of Mike Horton calling the defensive signals in. He sends the defensive signals into the players on the field.
One remaining regular season game for us. This will be the 9th of November, Hampton and Bethel here at Darling Stadium. Friday night game, we invite you to come out and enjoy the action. Second down at about 4. This is Melvin Haskett. Ball comes loose. There's a fumble.
Kecoughtan!
Now we hear someone yelling Kecoughtan, but let's wait and see if the officials rule it that way, and they don't. So Melvin Haskett carried the ball and fumbled, and it was recovered by one of his Raider teammates. So the Raiders now looking at a 3rd down and less than a yard. Ball is at the 38 of Kecoughtan. 2 wide receivers to the near side. And Mario Haskett goes up and over. He appears to have enough on his forward progress for a first down.
Yes, where the spot is, it looks like he got the first down.
The Raiders quarterback leaped high in the air and then was pushed back, but of course his forward progress is what will count.
Watch the replay, and we're looking right down, and if you see, he has definitely had it there, but again, it depends on where the spot is marked.
By the length of the football, a first down for the Warwick Raiders.
First down.
In order to give the bands as much time as they need to perform, Channel 5 is presenting the halftime show in its entirety following each game. So we invite you to stay tuned at the conclusion of the football game and watch the band perform at their halftime. This is Jernigan as he's chased out of bounds just short of another first down.
He is really quick. Got very quick feet and great speed, and made a couple of tacklers miss just because of his elusiveness.
We'll get a chance to see him again.
Watch this move right there, and then he does it again.
And he was faking out a pretty good ball player in Matt Patterson. Mario Haskett throws in the corner of the end zone. Contact between the 2 players. Rogers claiming a foul, but none was forthcoming, and I think that's a good no call by the officials. They ran into each other. It was clear that there was no real interference being perpetrated by the Kecoughtan defender.
Well, what happened really was Derek Rogers ran up the back of number 40 for the Warriors, and that's Corey Jones. And it could very well have been an offensive pass interference, would have been a 15-yard penalty plus a loss of down.
I think what they just ruled was they made incidental contact. Now we have a flag down.
Carrying the ball for the Raiders. He is tackled on the play by number
So this will be our first penalty of the ball game. Let's listen in.
Illegal shift, it looks, is the call by Kenny Self.
So this one will go against the Raiders.
A 5-yard penalty being marked off against the Warwick Raiders for illegal shift.
Well, that makes it 3rd and long.
Illegal shift. Offense. Replay 3rd down.
Thank you, Kenny. They're coming through loud and clear tonight.
3rd down and 7. You can't pick up the penalty as it occurred, but you saw the flag fly.
So again, they have an official's timeout. Now we're going.
So the clock is restarted with 1:10 remaining in the first quarter. And it's now 3rd down and 7 instead of 3rd down and 2 after the 5-yard penalty. Haskett setting up the screen on the right side. Is just a little too tall for his brother Melvin.
Well, he got a lot of pressure, much quicker than what he wanted. But that was a good setup because he had 4 linemen out there to block for him had he caught that ball. And now we're going to have a timeout called again for the Raiders are going to call a timeout. Tim, when we got a second here, we want to make sure that the fans know. We want them to write into us, let us know that you are watching the games, what you think about it, but also we're going to give a stadium seat away after the last ball game. We will do that during the first playoff game. We will give it, so we'll give the fans 2 more weeks, this week and next week, to write in and let us know. We're going to give a stadium seat away, and really would like to know who is watching, some comments, and just let us know. You like us or not? Of course, we
don't want to know that. Well, they can address those cards and letters to Channel 5, WHCS 1819 Nickerson Avenue, Nickerson Boulevard.
And that's Hampton, Virginia 23663.
So the timeout is over with. The Raiders are going for it with 4th down and 7. The ball is at the Kecoughtan 34-yard line. Haskett with a lone setback, feels some pressure, throws back away on a good defensive effort by Mike Williams of Kecoughtan.
And he not got his hand on it. That would have been a touchdown. That was a nice pass.
Covering on the play number 2, Michael Williams.
I'm surprised they went for the long one rather than getting the 8 to 10 yard pass that would have given them the first down. Watch this, and he is getting a lot of pressure. Kecoughtan is setting their people.
There you'll see Williams reach in just in the last second as Tremaine Jernigan was the intended receiver. And a good effort gives the ball over to the Warriors on downs. This is Tony Jordan as he struggles for about 2. The Raiders have done a fine job on defense so far in the ball game. They've really kept the Warriors out of their offense.
Well, Kecoughtan they do a good job of running inside. They do have a good traffic game, but they have not gone outside yet. And they've got some excellent runners in Cal Key and Mike Williams that can get outside.
As we mentioned, Cal Key 3rd in the Peninsula District. This is Williams into the center of the line. Not much happening there as he gets to the 40-yard line.
Stops the play by number 80, Tyrone Davis.
Mike Williams on the season with 532 yards.
That's a 3rd and 4 for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
And that is going to be the end of the first quarter as we've played 12 minutes. And the Warwick Raiders are holding on to a 7-0 lead as they took the opening kickoff, went 63 yards on 9 plays, consumed 4 minutes and 51 seconds. And they lead after 1 quarter 7-0. There you see the score and the Warwick Raiders. We're very pleased to have the viewers in Newport News on Channel 36 also getting an opportunity to see our games, and we'd also like to hear from you folks. If you enjoy watching the high school games, we're trying to broaden our scope here and see if we can get more Peninsula sports on cable television. It's something we certainly enjoy bringing to you, and we hope you're enjoying it.
Well, it's shown on Channel 36 on Saturdays and Sundays at 2 o'clock, so the people in Hampton can let the people in Newport News know about it. But that's when the the games are being played.
So the second quarter is set to get underway. It's third down for the Warriors at their 40-yard line. They need to pick up about 4.5 yards. So far, their offense has not been able to click. This is a pass to Williams, and Williams has the first down, but a penalty flag is down. Mike Williams on the receiving end of Tony Jordan's pass. Williams has caught 5 passes so far this season for 66 yards, but this one is going to come back.
Illegal procedure. Illegal something.
Here's your replay. I don't think we'll pick up the penalty on the replay, but you'll see a nice pass to Williams. Does a good job of getting away from the defender on that side, and a man who we called his name quite often last week against Phoebus, William Yarborough. Kenny Self will tell us.
Illegal motion, offense, replay third down.
So instead of a first down for the Warriors, it'll be third down and about 9.
Well, you hate to see that when you've picked up your initial first down and you're moving the ball and you're at about midfield, best field position you've had all night.
Tony Jordan completes the pass. He's got the first down at midfield. The ball comes loose.
Well, it looked like he was down before the ball came out, but again, I can't tell. And it looks like they're going to call that it was a fumble.
Lawrence Lewis, number 81, on the receiving end. And who's got it? They say Kecoughtan retains possession.
Wow, what a close call for the Warriors. And number 81 ended up with it. And he was the pass receiver, wasn't he?
Here's your replay.
Lewis. Watch this. He takes quite a hit right here. And yeah, the ball definitely came out. And he went after the ball and got it. What a nice hustle by Lawrence Lewis.
Back to the live action. This is Tony Jordan, the quarterback. He crosses the 40 to the 38. Pickup of about 8. So the Warriors finally starting to show some consistency to their offensive attack. And now 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2 is so much better than 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're 2nd and 2, that's a whole lot better than 2nd and 8.
10:40 remaining in the half. Kecoughtan trailing by 7. This is Cal Key, first down at the 32-yard line.
Well, now you see the Warriors look like they're walking with a little bit of bounce in their step now rather than being sluggish. They got their offense cranking up. Watch this. Is just a straight dive play to Key right up the middle, and he is hit and drags number 71 for the Raiders.
Derek Barnes.
Just drug him right with him, and Barnes is no small fella.
Tony Jordan is met and stopped before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Good defensive effort by the Warwick Raiders. 64 over there was Thomas Jackson, along with 42 Damon Taylor. Good effort by the defense for the Raiders as Jordan was stopped for no gain. 9:54, the clock moving.
Watch it on replay. George's got to make a decision, get down and cut up field quicker. He's got caught from behind that time.
2nd down and 10. Throws the ball into a crowd. It was almost picked off by the Raiders, but falls harmlessly to the ground. Number 44, Antonio Banks, had his hands on the ball but couldn't hold on.
He was just playing like a center fielder that time and just watched the quarterback's eyes and went right where the ball was being thrown.
So the clock stops with 9:36 remaining here in the first half. And it's a big 3rd down and 10 for the Warriors as they try and get untracked here. Tony Jordan gives to Cal Key, and Key is stacked up after little or no gain. So now the Warriors will be faced with a 4th down and long.
Well, it's too long for their field goal kicker. The ball is spotted at the 30-yard line. which would be about a 47-yard attempt. So I don't know that they will punt it. They're not given that good a field position to the Raiders. The Raiders has had much better field position than that all game, Tim.
Well, I think Kurt Newsom has sent in a play to go for it, like you said. He's got a wide receiver to the near side.
And he
Fourth
split
down
to the
and 8.
top also.
Over the middle, incomplete, as it was intended for Mike Thacker, number 1, coming across the middle. But he never really had an opportunity to catch the ball.
And he was coming across the middle. Boy, you got to watch out because you're an open season. As we catch that on replay, he was coming across, and the Raiders were just getting ready. They were going to knock the ball loose had he caught it. But that does turn the ball over to the Warriors. Here we got our first quarter statistics for you when you get a chance. And there's a good shot of Tim Smile.
Hi, Mom. So the Raiders take over on downs, returning the favor as the Warriors have been able to do so to them earlier.
And you can see those gentlemen behind us. They're from Channel 36.
Well, we're glad to have them aboard.
Yes, we are.
First half statistics bear us out with the fact that the Warriors could not get on track. They did not record a first down in the first quarter, while the Raiders had 5. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Second down and about 9 for Warwick. 8:20 remaining here in the first half. Mario Haskett sets up, wings it across the middle, intended for Phillips, number 21. But again, the ball was really pouring.
Yeah, that was really much high. He's a better quarterback in that. I don't know if he's rushing. He's getting a little bit of pressure from the Warrior defense or what, but that ball was way above. Kareem might have had trouble catching that one.
Individuals.
Excuse me, Tim, go ahead.
That's all right. We'll just watch the replay. I'll get back to these stats in a minute.
You watch, he drops back, and it's a quick pass. He really doesn't have that much pressure, but that ball is a good 3 feet over the head of the intended receiver.
Back to the live action, third down and 9. Haskett throws it right into the arms of Lawrence Lewis, and Lewis down the sidelines goes out of bounds inside the 9-yard line.
Well, that was not a well-thrown ball at all. That gives a big break for the Warriors. They have a 1st and goal inside the 10.
So Lawrence Lewis with 2 catches in this ball game, 1 from his quarterback and now 1 from the opposing quarterback. And this one will be even bigger than the one he caught from his teammate as it sets up a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. The Warriors offense has been sputtering, but this might be the jolt they were looking for. And now jumping off sides, and boy, that makes your hair go gray. Gene Fowler, left end, left about a week early. Missed the snap count, or at least I would assume that that's what our call will be. We'll listen in to Kenny Self in a moment as he'll initially tell us that it is illegal procedure against the Warriors.
5-yard penalty being marked off against the Kecoughtan Warriors. A dead ball, illegal.
Dead ball foul, false start, offense, still first down.
If I may very quickly tell you I'll wait till after this play. I started to give you some individual stats here. We're trying to get Gary Moore and his stats on the air, but we haven't had time. This is right up the middle to the 10-yard line as it's still 1st and goal, but now it'll be 2nd and goal at the 10.
Well, it's a little bit short. They marked it at the 11, so you still got 11 yards to go, and you almost feel like the Warriors are going to have to put the ball in the air to get it in the end zone. The Raiders' defense have been very stingy.
First quarter stats see that Tony Jordan carried 4 times for 15 yards, Cal Key 3 times for 7, and Williams 1 for 2 yards, while Mario Haskett had 6 carries for 41 yards. This is Jordan, and Jordan doesn't get much, maybe to the 10. Jernigan carried twice for 21 yards, and Melvin Haskett 1 time for 3 yards. Total yards on the ground, 65 for the Raiders, 24 for the Warriors. Mario Haskett was 3 out of 10 passing for 23 yards, while the Warriors did not complete a pass.
I don't understand why Jordan is not pitching the ball to the wide man, and we got another timeout, so you're going to have plenty of time getting in your statistics.
Well, now I can have all the time I need, and we'll do that as 3rd down efficiency in the first quarter showed the Raiders with 33%, and the Warriors were 0 for 2, of course 0%.
That's Coach Johnny Pauls up here in the coaches booth talking to the people on the sideline.
Total net yards rushing, 65 for the Raiders, 24 for the Warriors. Passing, as I mentioned, 23 yards for the Raiders and none for the Warriors. So the Warwick Raiders have had the edge statistically here in the first.
Why don't you introduce yourself to the people behind you?
Well, I'm on the air right now. I'll do that in a minute.
Well, you can squeeze your button there. There's a good shot of the Kecoughtan Warrior cheerleading group.
Show what you got, all the way.
I know young Sam really hates that job.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
He came all the way down from Manassas to do that.
I saw a little earlier, too, Ron Bateman, one of our crack cameramen, was down there doing some promos with the cheerleaders as well. Third down and goal for the Warriors. First time they show motion as Williams goes in motion. Over the middle, Thacker, touchdown!
What did I say? You got to put it in the air to score, and that's exactly what the Warriors did. What a nice call by Kurt Newsom. He called a timeout, third timeout in this quarter, but it was a smart timeout.
So Tony Jordan connects with Mike Thacker over the middle for 10 yards and the touchdown as 6:58 remains here in the first half. And the Warriors a extra point away from tying this ball game up. Out of Tony Jordan's hold, the kick is up and the kick is good.
Well, that changes the complexion of this game real quick like.
So the turnover is incredibly costly for the Warwick Raiders as Haskett threw the intercept, and the Kecoughtan Warriors are able to capitalize on it. And right now we'll return to Darling Stadium, but first let's pause for this brief timeout. Mark last week.
Well, it may have been 40, but it seemed colder than that.
Short kick taken by one of the up men, and he's still on his feet. One man to beat, and he is taken down at the 38-yard line of Kecoughtan.
Boy, you don't want to give the Raiders that kind of field position.
Antonio Banks almost gave them 6 more points.
Watch the replay on this. It's a very short kickoff. The short man takes it, and it looks like right here he's going to be stopped, but he does a good job of spinning right out of some tacklers, and the kicker had to come over and help stop him, or he could have taken it all the way.
That was Antonio Banks with a good run back. This is Mario Haskett trying to recover from his intercept earlier. He carries for about 2 yards to the 35-yard line. We're happy to have Paul Cumming and Dan Dooley visiting with us from Channel 36.
They are checking out our operation.
35-yard line is where they mark the ball. A pickup of almost 3. Let's call it second down and 7. A little more than 6 minutes remaining in the first half, and we're tied at 7. Mario Haskett pitches back for Jernigan. Jernigan has the play strung out nicely, and then the defense comes over as a good effort by number 81, Lawrence Lewis, and he is really impressing me here in the first half.
I tell you, he is really doing a job. They did a great job of stringing that ball out, and Warwick actually lost a yard on that play. Watch this replay. I mean, they came down the line, and he did pitch the ball. He's got a blocker, but look how Lewis strings the ball out, strings it out, lets the defense catch up, and then boom, Jernigan has no place to go. Kecoughtan does a great job of pursuing.
Third down and 9 for the Raiders. 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half. Halfback pass, Jernigan throws, and it's picked off. It's going to be in the end zone. They're going to rule that the momentum carried the Kecoughtan player, Mike Williams, into the end zone.
Well, that was a halfback pass. And you didn't expect that, but Mike Williams did a great job, but he's limping off the field, and that could really hurt the Warriors. But they get the ball on the 20 rather than on the 1-yard line. But you can see there's Mike limping. And this is a pitch to Jernigan.
Very little faking on the play. Jernigan just took the pitch and then set it through. Yarborough was the intended receiver. And that's a very generous call on that play, because the Raiders could very easily have had the Warriors standing on their 1 yard line, but the official on the play called that the ball went into the end zone. The momentum carried the player in, and the Warriors get a break, and they create their second turnover with the intercept by Williams.
Well, I see Mike Williams is on the sideline, and he looks like he's in a little discomfort. And I hope it's just a twisted ankle or something. They can tape that up. I hope it's not a serious injury. But that means Cal Key will be doing the bulk of the running from that halfback spot. They've got number 22 in there with them.
Put some ice on it right now.
That's John Bruce.
Yeah, John Bruce carries 7 times for 29 yards on the season. And there's not much happening there, maybe a yard or 2. Bruce has only gained yardage in 3 games against Menchville, Bethel, and Lafayette. Carried 7 times for 29 yards.
Come on, Cal!
It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Warriors.
Well, look, there you can see Mike Williams. He's got some ice on the side of his knee, so he may have just twisted the knee a little bit. But he doesn't look as bad now as he did when he walked off. That ice will help him.
What are you on?
Big 3rd down for the Warriors with 3:50 remaining in the first half. This is Cal Key trying to get to the outside, and a good open field tackle by number 34 for the Raiders. That's James Talley. And Talley did a good job of making Key lose yardage.
Well, he did a great job of avoiding the blockers and came in from behind the blockers and made that nice defensive play, as you can see right there. He comes right in and splits the blockers.
Nobody picked him up, and otherwise Cal Key might have had some success. Pope gets the high snap, gets the kick away. It's a line drive taken by Jernigan at midfield, and then he is stopped at the 42-yard line. So Jernigan, who we know is dangerous on returns, ask Phoebus about him.
Well, if the Raiders would have been coming for a block punt, they would have blocked that one because there was a high snap, and it took about an extra second for the punt to get off. But again, the Raiders have excellent field position.
They'll start from there, rather the Kecoughtan 42, with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Both teams tied with identical 6-2 records, and a tie for second place. The winner tonight will have sole possession of second.
As you can see on that play, that's very similar to what the Warriors run. They two very similar teams in their offensive philosophies.
Gain of a little more than 4. Let's call it 2nd down and 6 for the Raiders.
There was a shot of Kurt Newsom on the side. Concerned that the Raiders end up with great field position every time he turns around.
You can hear Mario Haskett as he is checking off at the line of scrimmage. Now he unloads, throwing long, and he's got his man, but he can't hold on to it at the 6-yard line.
What a nice play for the defender, number 14. That's Aaron Hendrickson. That ball was caught, and he stripped the ball.
Marlon Hooker was the Warwick Raider who couldn't hold on.
We have a flag on the play, too, Tim.
All right, let's watch the replay here and see exactly what happened. Haskett really got hit hard as he released the ball. There you see him took a full shot. Threw the ball well. It's right down about the 5-yard line.
Well, Hendrickson actually lost the ball. As you can see, the ball is caught here by Hooker, but then Hendrickson does a great job of stripping it.
So Hooker really never had possession.
Offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway, as illegal procedure was called against the Raiders. So it's 2nd down at the Kecoughtan 49-yard
Well, that's a long 5 yards.
Yeah, that is a long 5, isn't it? Swing pass for Jernigan. Jernigan goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line after being chased out of bounds by Matt Patterson, and number 14 over there again.
He's driven out of bounds by number 80, Matt Patterson.
I didn't update my numbers. Who is number 14 for Kecoughtan? I wasn't aware that we had a change.
Oh,
You don't have him either.
yeah, I know who he is. It's Terry Thomas.
Terry Thomas, okay.
I believe.
Now a timeout by the Warwick Raiders with 2:03 remaining. They're looking at a 3rd down and about 2.5. So I'm sure that Bill Lyons wants to have an opportunity to discuss the available options to the Warwick Raiders. We want to remind you that you can get involved in the half marathon by signing up next week. The Pregame Group 1 Hampton Coliseum Road Race will be held in the city on Sunday, the 10th of February, 1991. I know that sounds like a long ways off, but it really isn't. The sports crew of Channel 5 will be on hand to bring you the tape delay coverage of the event. So if you'd like to get involved with the half marathon, you can sign up next week. The Pregame Group 1 Hampton Coliseum Road Race will be held in Hampton on Sunday, the 10th of February, 1991.
Are you running in that one, Tim?
Yeah, I'm running right alongside,
In the car.
In the car. That's as close to running as I'm going to be getting. So the Raiders now are looking at a 3rd down and about 3. Our tie score, 7-7, 2:03 remaining. Warwick took the opening kickoff and went 63 yards for the touchdown. Kecoughtan, after an interception, was able to tie up the score on a 10-yard pass from Jordan to Mike Thacker. And we're tied up at 7. The battle for sole possession of 2nd place.
The last couple of plays, Kecoughtan has been shooting a linebacker in there, trying to put extra pressure on the quarterback, Haskett. That time, the Raiders just wanted to pick up the 1st down. They did not get it, but they're in 4-down territory. They can go for it on 4th with about a yard to go. And I'm sure that's what Bill Lyons is going to do. You're down to 1:40 to go.
Big Alvin Foster, number 78 at 5'9", 260, was there with Patterson to stop Melvin Haskett. Short of the 1st down. It's 4th and a yard. Rogers and Hooker line up wide to the right. Mario Haskett rolling. He's left-handed. He throws. He's got a man open at the 22-yard line. 1st down.
What a gutsy call by the Warwick Raiders coaching staff. Rather than go up the middle where the Warriors thought they were going to be, he faked the dive, rolled out, left-handed, threw a nice pass. Watch this play.
It's tougher when you're left-handed rolling to your right. You have to throw back. We won't get a chance to see it, but he got a good effort to Rogers. Now in the end zone for Hooker, and Hooker can't get to the ball.
That's kind of a timing play. He's going to lay the ball up into the corner, and Hooker's got to run underneath it. Number 14, Thomas, did a great job of defending again that time.
And here's your previous play. This is the play where they needed the yardage for 1st down. You see Haskett is left-handed. Now he throws rolling to his right and spots his man, Rogers, wide open at the 20-yard line.
That was an excellent pass. Rolling to the right, throwing it left-handed.
Clock stops with 1:06 remaining in the half. Haskett again looks, got a man wide open and throws it too tall. Oh, Jernigan was wide open at the 2.
He was that. There was nobody on him. I believe that what's happening right now is the Raiders are they're just a little, I don't know, excited or what, but the timing isn't as good as it was last week. The Warriors might be putting a little extra pressure on him than he's used to.
Haskett again, 3rd down, finds Hooker inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. And the Raiders, with just 1 timeout remaining, will hurry to the line of scrimmage, wanting to hold on to that timeout.
Well, the clock is stopped until they move the markers anyway, and there it starts again. Should.
Well, they haven't started it yet. Now they will. Kenny Self will wind it up, and here it goes. 52 seconds and moving. Haskett has time. Now he'll step up and run it himself into the end zone. Touchdown!
That was a nice fake. Everybody thought he was going to throw the ball, and he saw a seam. Just took it right in himself.
An 8-yard run. Mario Haskett, the quarterback, dropped back, looked over the middle, saw his receivers pretty well covered and then realized he had a gaping hole to run through.
Tim, that was set up by that nice fine return on a punt by the Warriors.
Extra point try by Perry is up and good.
Perry takes the point, is good. Making the score. Warwick Raiders 14.
So with just 44 seconds remaining in the halftime, the Warwick Raiders have regained the lead.
Watch the replay on the touchdown, Tim. Everybody drops back, and there's nobody on him, and he just makes a nice fake on the linebacker, freezes the linebacker, and then dives into the end zone.
So the Raiders go 42 yards, 9 plays, 2 minutes and 15 seconds to regain the lead, 14-7 in this battle between the second-place teams. This game recorded on the 2nd of November, 1990. I'm Tim Cole with Bob Hintz, coming to you from the new Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. It's been a good one so far, the type of game you'd expect between two fine teams like Kecoughtan and Warwick. Squib kick is fielded and fallen upon at the 21-yard line. So the kick was very effective for the Raiders. It accomplished exactly what they wanted to.
You can't get a run back. Hard to get a run back on a kick like that, and it's a live ball once it goes 10 yards.
So the Warriors, with no timeouts remaining, will be looking at 42 seconds, and the clock is moving. Tony Jordan on the draw play to Cal Key. Key out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. The Warriors going without a huddle. 20 seconds remaining. Jordan wants to throw long. He's got Thacker downfield, and he's got it! He took it away from the defender!
What a play by Mike Thacker! Wow!
73 yards. Just 6 seconds remaining until halftime. The Warwick Raiders defender had his hands on the ball, but Mike Thacker just took it away. And now the extra point try ties the ball game up. So the big play comes back to haunt the Warwick Raiders.
And what you worried about was the Raiders doing the big play. Watch this pass from Jordan, and looks like it's going to get intercepted. The Raider goes right up for the ball, has it, and as he falls down, Mike Thacker just takes it right out of his hand and runs it into the end zone. What nice concentration by Mike Thacker. Wow.
Great coverage by our camera crew, too. They had every bit of that covered all the way, guys. Super job. That's how you diagram it, right?
Yes, you diagram it with the defender falling down, right?
That's right. So just 6 seconds remaining and an explosive finish to the first half.
Hey, hang loose. We got another full half coming.
And flags are down before the ball is kicked, so they'll bring this one back. Somebody was either offside or encroachment. Let's figure out what it was. Clock did not start until a offensive player touched the ball. It's offsides against the Raiders, so they lined up offside. Or encroachment, whatever you want to call
I think they're in the neutral zone. They were closer to the ball than they need to be.
So 6 seconds still remains on the scoreboard. Eric Long will tee the ball up this time at the 45.
You don't want to let it have a long run back if you're the Warriors.
Don't you think that Kurt Newsom told his team about that after Phoebus got burnt? Fallen upon at the 35-yard line by the Warwick Raiders, James Talley.
Well, I don't believe they're going to get a play call. I really don't, Tim. There's no timeouts. As soon as the ball is marked, the official's going to wind the clock, and that's going to be it.
Well, the Raiders, in fact, could call their last timeout, but they will not elect to do so.
That is the end of the first half.
So an exciting finish to our first half of action. The Warwick Raiders and the Kecoughtan Warriors after one half of play. There you see the score tied up at 14. We'll return to Darling Stadium with our second half of action after this brief timeout.
Alternative viewing from WHCS TV5.
Back at Darling Stadium, the teams have come out back on the field, and I've got some halftime stats for you, courtesy of Computerland and Gary Moore. Our score at halftime is 14-all. There you see the stats in the first half. The Raiders with 108 yards rushing to -6 for the Warriors. 102 yards passing for the Warriors. A lot of that coming on that 73-yarder to Thacker just at the end of the first half. 62 yards for the Raiders, a total of 170 versus 96. 2 penalties for the Warriors, 3 for the Raiders. And the punts pretty much even. 33 yards per kick for Kecoughtan, 29. And there you see the possession of time. Actually, you have to subtract 3 minutes from each of those.
Yeah, so yeah, I was going to say it should be 14-9.
Gary's computer is set up for college.
College, yeah. So you're thinking 15-minute quarters rather than 12.
The individual leaders in the first half for the Warwick Raiders, Mario Haskett with 77 yards rushing, averaging 9.6 per carry on 8 tries. 4 carries for Jernigan for 26, and only 6 yards for Melvin Haskett on 3 carries. There you see the first downs and the third down efficiency for the Raiders, 2 of 7, 1 of 5 for the Warriors. Individually for Kecoughtan, 24 yards for Tony Jordan on 7 carries, 2 carries for 5 yards for Williams, and Cal Key carried 9 times for 59 yards. I think maybe and we're going to get a chance to watch the replay of that long touchdown pass from Tony Jordan to Mike Thacker. And watch this now. Thacker will actually take the ball away from Yarborough, and he'll race into the end zone for the touchdown. The defender who had a shot at him, Anthony Watson, was not able to catch the fleet-footed Mike Thacker. There you see the story at halftime, 14-all. As we get set for the third quarter, you will find the Kecoughtan Warriors on the receiving end of the second half kickoff.
Well, and that's kind of indicative of these two teams. Both of them are 6-2, and they are playing like teams tied for third place.
Cal Key returns the kickoff to the 27-yard line. So we'll see if that momentum, that elusive momentum, carries over to the Raiders, or rather to the Warriors here in the second half. Tony Jordan has Cal Key in the backfield along with Mike Williams. This is Mike Williams getting the call across the 30 to about the 31-yard line.
Well, I'm glad to see Mike Williams back in that backfield. Remember, he hobbled off towards the end of that second half with a sprained knee, but he didn't run like that time like he had anything wrong.
Ball at the 31-yard line. It'll be second down and about 7 for the Warriors. Lawrence Lewis sets up wide to the right. Pitch goes to Mike Thacker. And Thacker will be close to the 35-yard line, which will set up a 3rd down and 2 for Kecoughtan. Just underway from Darling Stadium, second half. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and the crew on a balmy Friday night, the 2nd of November, 1990. Last week, our temperature during the game was in the 40s.
Low 40s, I may add.
Yeah, we're in the upper 60s tonight, so it's a much more pleasant night and a good crowd on hand on the, at least on the Kecoughtan side of the field, and we're happy to see more people filed in for Warwick, but there should be a better support for that team. They've got a fine program over at Warwick High School. Quick hitter up the middle, first down for Thacker as he crosses the 40 to the 42. In on the stop for the Warwick Raiders was Mario Haskett. A lot of good two-way players for both of these teams. This is the, by incidence, this is the 27th encounter between these two teams. And Kecoughtan leads the series 13-12 with one tie. That was Lawrence Lewis on the receiving end of the pass for about 3 yards.
Well, that was a tough catch and run. He was kind of naked out there when he got the ball. There was nobody to block for him. He dropped back and got the pass and then tried to pick up some blockers by cutting back towards against the flow of traffic. As you can see here, he actually got very little help from his offensive lineman. And that was just a quarterback keeper. Tony Jordan spotted something that he could carry that ball, and he picked almost enough for a first down, just short.
Jordan carries to the the Raider 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a yard for Kecoughtan. The Warriors have never led this game. They trailed 7-0, then tied it at 7, then fell behind 14-7, and then just before half, made it 14-all as Tony Jordan spins his way to a first down at the 46-yard line.
It just looks like to me that the Warriors are just a little crisper in their blocking and their handoffs and everything. They look like they just have a lot more confidence in their offense now as opposed early in the ball game, Tim.
So they mark the ball at the Warwick 46, first down for Kecoughtan, 8:43 remaining in the 3rd quarter. In motion to the left is Mike Thacker. Cal Key gets the handoff off tackle, and nothing happening there as he is met and stopped cold in his tracks by Melvin Haskett, number 2. Good defensive effort by the fine two-way player for the Warwick Raiders.
Well, what you try to do by putting that man in motion is to pull that linebacker over a little bit and then pop the quick hitter up, but Haskett did not move. He was right there and met Cal Key right about a yard after the handoff.
Jordan, keeping on the quarterback option, is taken down at the 38-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down for the Warriors. So Tony Jordan mixing up his plays pretty well as he has engineered this drive down to the 38-yard line. Here's your replay.
And he'll just fake the dive to the first man, and then he'll go down and cut right up and make sure that he's got a lane there, and he had a nice lane.
3rd down and 2 for the Warriors, and it looks like Cal Key will get the first down at the 35-yard line.
Well, this is one thing that the coaching staff at the Kecoughtan Warriors had talked about. They wanted to control the ball. They've got a good ground game. If they could just eat up the clock and move the ball down and score, it will keep that defense on the field a lot longer and hopefully get them tired.
I was a little premature in saying the first down. They did have to measure, but in fact, by the length of the football, they did get a first down. Not a particularly generous mark.
I was going to say, it looked like he was a good yard over the where the marker was, but the spot was not generous.
No, his feet might have gone down. So again, the officials right on top of the play, marking it, and certainly they have a much better angle for that call than we do. Tony Jordan will just barely get back to the line of scrimmage, as that play didn't materialize very well at all.
Well, look for Kecoughtan to put the ball in the air. The defenses for the Raiders is sneaking up a little bit, and they're getting a little bit tighter, so you have to spread them out a little bit by putting the ball in the air.
Here's a replay. Watch as you see Jordan will come along the line of scrimmage after the fake. And he's not really very decisive about what he's going to do, and that doesn't work well against a good defensive effort by Warwick.
And we got a timeout real quick here by the Warriors.
No, the Raiders.
Well, yes, one of those two teams.
Tell us again, if you will, about the player of the game and what they're going to get.
Okay, Tim, I'll do that. We will give a plaque out to the player of the game for the Hampton teams, and we apologize to the Newport News teams, but this thing was set up through the VHSL and Earl Gillespie up there. But we're giving a plaque that is being donated by DC Engraving, which is located in York Village Shopping Center on Route 17 in Grafton, and it is a sample of metal photo. And if you just need any help, just give Dave a call out there at DC Engraving. We also will give a shirt that says Player of the Game, our logo on it. It has a football logo and stuff on it, and this is donated to us, to the players by Turner's Hardware and Sports Place, located in Willow Oak Shopping Center. And they have two other locations, one in Denby and also at the new Hampton Harbors next to Hampton Institute. And again, you want to see Dave over there, a different Dave.
Cal Key goes in motion for the first time tonight. Jordan back throwing, has a man open at the 15-yard line. It's caught for a first down.
Tim, can I call him or not? That's twice tonight I've called a pass, and I feel like I should be on the sideline.
Lawrence Lewis, again, outstanding play tonight for the Warriors, as he has caught two key passes and has picked off a pass as well.
And here we can see it on replay, and it was not a particularly strong pass, but he just went right over the linebackers, and Lewis got hit hard and still made the reception.
And Cal Key will be stacked up for a loss on that play.
I tell you, the Raiders have that pitch down very good. They are tackling everybody on that option play, which is going to force the Warriors to put that ball in the air again.
James Talley in on the stop. So Lawrence Lewis has made an interception for the Kecoughtan Warriors, and in the first half caught a pass for 19 yards as well, and right now he's my leading vote for player of the game.
Well, I got to go along with you on that, but I'm also thinking of Mike Thacker.
There's Lawrence Lewis, touchdown!
What a nice fake and pass and catch by Lawrence Lewis, and he just moved up another notch. Of course, Jordan is not doing a bad job tonight either. Well, the Raiders have said, as you can see, the nice fake and pass, there was no pressure at all. And Lawrence Lewis went right up between two defenders.
The extra point try is good, and now for the first time in the ball game, the Kecoughtan Warriors have taken the lead.
Well, Tim, what it looked like what the Raiders were doing, they're going to say, we're going to stop the run. If you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do it through the air. And Tony Jordan is on the money tonight. He's also got to be a candidate for the play of the game. He's carried the ball. He's taken a lot of hits. He's called a good game, but has really put the ball right on the money when he's passing it. I'm very impressed with him, as with the protection he's getting from his offensive line.
Jordan in the first half was 3 out of 5 for 102 yards. This takes just 9 minutes and 16 seconds. Boy, do you like actually take away 3 more. That's 6:16. I've got to talk to Gary about this. 6:16 in the time of possession, 74 yards and 13 plays. So the Warriors are able to capitalize on their first second half possession. And they have taken the lead 21-14. Both of these teams we knew coming in could score points, and they have not disappointed us. Kickoff drives Jernigan all the way back to the 2-yard line. A 20-yard return for Tremaine Jernigan.
The Warriors did a good job of defending that. That looked like there was going to be an alley that Jernigan could get to, but it closed real quick.
So now the Raiders look at a deficit on the scoreboard for the first time. They have been tied or ahead ever since the initial possession of the ball game. They took the opening kickoff and scored with it. And this is the first time they have found themselves trailing. Pitch goes to Tremaine Jernigan. Jernigan reverses his field and gets nowhere. In fact, he loses about 4 yards. Nothing will fire up the defense more than a touchdown.
Well, you have to take your hat off to the outside, the defensive end on that side for the Warriors. They would not let Jernigan go anywhere. They strung him out, and he tried to reverse his field. And Kecoughtan does a good job of getting to the ball defensively, as you can see here on the pitch. As he stops to come back, there's nowhere to go, and he tries to split and is thrown for about a 3-yard loss.
Second down. This is Jernigan again. He crosses the 25 to about the 26-yard line, so he got back the yardage that was lost on the previous play, and then about 4 or 5 more.
Well, I tell you, he did a great job of following his blocker that time. He's a small young man, and he kind of hid behind one of his blockers and did a great job of following his blocker.
Jernigan only 5'6", but he plays a lot bigger than that.
Oh, and he is really quick.
4:10 remaining in the third quarter. Mario Haskett swing pass to Jernigan. He's got 2 blockers out in front of him. Picks up a good block, and then a flag comes down. And let's see what this flag will be all about.
Kirk Newsom was yelling something to his players. He could see that play developing. Had nobody over there to pick up the swing man coming out of the backfield. We got a clip against the Raiders, which will negate that run.
Let's watch this again. See if we can pick up the clip. Here's the swing pass to Jernigan. It looked like almost a clip in the backfield there, but here's where the flag comes down.
Right there is the clip. Just went in front of you.
So the play is wiped out. I didn't see the clip. I have to be perfectly honest with you. It looked like the young man got his head in front of him, but the official was right on top of the play, threw the flag.
Clipping, offense, repeat third down.
Well, that brings up a 3rd and long, which is definitely a passing situation. Kirk Newsom, the coach, saw what was happening, but he didn't have his players over there to the side. And we can sure see we can look for the ball being in the air, but it'd be a great time for a draw play.
Mario Haskett throws, has a man open, connects, and he is out of bounds, close to first down territory. It looks like he might have it.
Yeah, it does, Tim. And we got another flag on the play, and it looks like, again, it's against the Raiders. And it's an illegal man downfield, Tim, which is, I believe that's a loss of down, if I'm not mistaken. Which will bring up a punting situation. Watch this nice fake by Haskett, but he had one of his linemen had released and went downfield.
Rogers made a fine effort after catching the football, took out a couple of coaches and a player or 2 on the far sideline, but it'll go for naught. So the penalty has hurt the Raiders twice in a row. Let's listen to Kenny Self.
Illegal receiver downfield, offense, repeat third down.
Oh, it's a repeat. It's not a loss of down. I know what offensive pass interference it is.
So it remains 3rd down, but now it's 3rd down and about 17. Checking off at the line of scrimmage, Mario Haskett yells the instructions. You can probably hear him. Haskett throws to Rogers on the dead run. He is dangerous all the way out to the 45-yard line. I do not see any penalty flag.
Well, I tell you, that was an excellent call. Mario checked it, looked like he checked off at the line of scrimmage. The first man went down and cleared out the zone, and Rogers was wide open. Vera Haskett is just doing a great job of play calling. Watch it on the replay. Pass receiver was wide open. open. There was nobody watching him. A missed tackle there and another missed tackle. And he is very dangerous, as you said, Tim.
Dedrick Rogers all the way out to the 45-yard line. Over the middle, a flag goes down. Completed pass to Rogers, just a yard shy of a first down, but yet another yellow hanky. We didn't see many in the first half, but boy, we're catching up here in the third. This is again ineligible receiver downfield against the Raiders.
What may be happening, I don't know, but if the wideout is up on the line of scrimmage, that means the man that's on the end inside is not an eligible receiver, and that may be what's happening.
There you saw the replay of the fine pass and catch, but it will be wiped out by the 5-yard penalty. Here's Kenny Self again.
Illegal man downfield, offense, repeat first down.
Kenny's getting more airtime than either of us. Moving back to the 40-yard line, it's still first down, but now 1st and 15. Downfield, knocked away, incomplete again, defending on the play, and knocking the ball away was the ever-present Lawrence Lewis.
Well, he better get his hand on the ball that time. Had he not, that would have been a touchdown or at least a long gainer, because the offensive man had gotten behind him. And watch again, it's nice camera work as Mario goes down the field or drops back, and you can see Hooker is behind Lewis, and he caught that ball. He would have definitely picked up a lot of yardage.
Clock stops with 3:11 remaining. 2nd down and 15 from the Warwick 40. Mario Haskett picks up a block from his brother Melvin, and then does some fine running on his own into Kecoughtan territory at the 48-yard line. Mario Haskett shows some fine running ability.
Well, Kecoughtan tried to put a lot of pressure on him that time and chase him out of the pocket, which in this case, it worked to the advantage of the Raiders. And he does a great job of following his block, picked up a nice block right there and cuts back, but he's carrying that ball kind of loose. If you're on the other side, you say, tuck that ball.
3rd down and 3 for the Raiders. They need to cross the Kecoughtan 45. Haskett on a quarterback draw is buried short of the first down. And I say a draw, it could have been, at least he realized he might be able to run for it, but by that time the Warriors were there to stop him.
Well, now you got a precarious situation. If you coach Lions, you don't want to give the ball back to the Warriors on this field position. What you're going to do is go into punt formation and maybe try to draw them offside or do something to get them to come in. They've been trying to block it. They came very close to blocking the last punt.
Randy Harrell will be in deep punt formation, standing at his 40-yard line. He gets a high snap, feels it cleanly, and gets it away. It's going to be, well, I started to say taken by Cal Key. There is a flag down once again. And the ball is down at the 12, 13-yard line, but there is a penalty flag back at the 29.
Well, that's usually illegal use of the hands or something against the Warriors, and it looks like the Raiders are clapping down there.
It's going to be a clip. So a clip on the, well, I started to say on the run back, but there wasn't a run back.
Well, it'll be half the distance, so it'll be back at about the 6.5-yard line. Well, wait a minute.
I was going to say,
before the possession is changed, so the ball will go over. Yes, the Raiders will get the ball 1st and 10. What a big, big penalty. Possession had not changed.
Let's listen in to Kenny Self.
Clipping on the receiving team during the kick, 15 yards and a first down.
Oh, that's a big penalty. So instead of the ball belonging to the Warriors with the penalty, the clip occurred before change of possession. And the penalty gives a first down to the Raiders. Haskett drops back, now decides to run. This is Mario Haskett, and he's across the 25 to the 24.
Well, the Kecoughtan is doing a good job of forcing him out of the pocket, but there's no contained man on the outside, and he is picking up valuable yardage. He picked up 8 that time. And you could say that part of that is because of the fine defensive secondary for the Warriors not allowing anybody to be open.
Fumble, and recovered by Mario Haskett.
Covered by number 9, Mario Haskett.
And that was John Johnson, number 76, a defensive end that was right there. Had he not jumped on the ball, Kecoughtan would have got a big turnover. And that was just a fake. He faked the ball to the dive man, Tim, and it was just, he dropped it. It was just one of those things as a coach, it gives you gray hair.
Or no hair. And on a 3rd down and 6, only a yard on the play. As in the ball game, carrying for the first time was Antonio Banks, number 44, and he did not get enough for the first down. And the third quarter has come to an end. So we've played 3 quarters in Darling Stadium. And after 3 quarters, our score is Kecoughtan 21 and the Warwick Raiders 14. The only score in the 3rd quarter was a 17-yard touchdown pass from Tony Jordan to Lawrence Lewis with 5:44 to go in the 3rd. And the extra point made it 21-14 as Kecoughtan has taken the lead.
Well, we got a second here. If they can hear me over the drums, we would like, again, to encourage our viewers to write in and let us know what you think of the broadcast. And also, we will put your name in a drawing for a stadium seat that will be donated by Turner's Sports Place in Willow Oaks. And the address is, send it to WHCS Channel 5, 1819 Nickerson Boulevard, Hampton, Virginia, 23663. And I'd love to hear from you.
Well, the Raiders will be looking at a 4th down and about 6, and they are not going to kick the ball. They are going for the first. Mario Haskett drops back, throws for Banks, and it's incomplete. It'll go over on down.
Well, the reason that was incomplete was because big number 87, Sean Stacy, was right in his face, and he had no choice. That was supposed to be a screen pass, but the Warriors dodged a big bullet that time.
So the Warriors are able to hold on downs here. Let's watch it again. Swinging the ball out to Banks, and Banks, it was just a bad throw. He was open. Just couldn't
well,
get
all fairness to Mario, he had a man right in his face.
So the Warriors now take over, and on the first play, Mike Williams carries out to the 35-yard line. Pickup of almost 7, 2nd down and about 3. 11:30 remaining in the 4th quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz coming to you from Darling Stadium in Hampton. Hope that you're enjoying it here on Channel 5 in Hampton and Channel 36 in Newport News.
And that was a quarterback sneaker. I could see that coming. There was an opening, and Jordan figured he could pick up those 2 to 3 yards, and he picked up more than enough on a quarterback keeper. Nothing, Kirk Newsom would like to do nothing better, Tim, to take this ball, eat up a lot of time, go down and score, get at least a 3-pointer, if not a 7-pointer, and really put the pressure on the Raiders.
First down for Kecoughtan. Tony Jordan has the ball, and he stumbles forward for about 3. Making that clock move all the time. We remind you again that coming up on the 9th of November, right here at Darling Stadium, we will return for our final regular season game the annual clash between the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. And we will be here to record that game for you, but we'd like to see all of you out here supporting your team in the Peninsula District Football. This is Williams outside, and he is down to the 45-yard line of Warwick, another first down.
Well, Tim, he did a great job of breaking about 2 or 3 tackles that time.
I'm looking forward to that Hampton-Bethel game, Bob. I always do.
Do what?
I say I'm looking forward to that Hampton-Bethel game, but then I'll always do.
Well, you know, that was the first game that we ever did was the Hampton-Bethel game, and so that's always been a big game for us.
Kind of an anniversary, huh?
Yes.
Let's get dressed up. First down at the 44-yard line. This is Cal Key still on his feet and drags tacklers for 9 yards.
That could be 1 or 2 reasons. The offense is doing a better job firing off the ball, and that defense is getting tired. Defense for the Raiders was on the field almost most of the third quarter.
Here's a replay. You'll see Cal Key.
We got a timeout. Look at him just breaking tackles and not giving up, keeping those legs moving, and that's the key. All coaches will tell you, if you keep your legs moving, it's hard to bring you down.
In fact, we have a player shaken up on the play. I can't exactly make out.
Looked like one of the Warriors.
Yep.
And I can't get the, and it may be, I can't tell, it might be just a cramp.
Going to be second down and about 2 for the Warriors. While I have this opportunity, let me give you the stats for the third quarter. The Warriors dominated the third quarter with 6 first downs to 1 for Warwick. The Raiders were 1 out of 3 in third down efficiency, while the Warriors were 3 out of 3. Total net yards for Warwick, 51, 74 for Kecoughtan. 22 rushing yards for the Raiders, 33 for the Warriors. Total passing yards, 29 for Warwick and 41 for the Raiders. Should be for the Warriors. Got too many W's and R's here.
Well, that looks like it's number 80, Matt Patterson, who is a big part in that defense and offense for the Warriors in 2 ways. Starting plays flanker and linebacker. Yeah, one of the outside linebackers. It's good to see him walking off the field, so it cannot be too serious.
So the Warriors dominated on the field and put 7 on the scoreboard in the third quarter. 9:40 remaining here in the fourth quarter as Matt Patterson is helped to the sidelines. And that could be a big loss for the Warriors if he's unable to return. Second down and about 1 yard. Quarterback keeper more than enough for the first down.
And he's done that about 3 or 4 times. You would think the Raiders would get wise to that move and try to pinch one that's short and second or third and very short.
Another first down. Here's your replay as Jordan just had all kinds of running room.
But you can see that offensive line is really firing off the ball. That's a different group of men, it looks like, out there than was out there that first quarter.
Mike Williams twisting and turning for about 5.
And he got turned around. He'd have picked more, but he was running backwards.
He just knew to keep moving his legs. He didn't know exactly which direction he was going in, but he knew he wanted to move. So he gained 5. It's second down. 8:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. Kecoughtan driving and leading by 7. Carried down to about the 25-yard line. That's Cal Key who got the call. They mark it just across the 25. It'll be third down and about 4. The Warwick Raiders, a 20-7 victim. And when you talk about common opponents to Hampton, while Kecoughtan Warriors lost to Hampton. the score of 14-0. Flag goes down.
Well, there was no doubt about that. The defender had one choice. Had he not tackled him or interfered, it would have been a touchdown. Nice call, nice pass by Tony Jordan.
William
I'm impressed
Yarborough.
with the way Jordan's passing the ball tonight, Tim.
William Yarborough was the defender on the play. Let's watch this again.
Watch the fake. And just a quick drop and a step, and the receiver is going to have a touchdown if it's not a 15-yarder. In all fairness to Yarborough, that probably was a very smart play.
13-yard line.
So the obvious penalty gives the Raiders, or rather the Warriors, a first down at the 13. Now the Raider defense stiffens. Michael Williams gets the call for Kecoughtan. We're inside of 8 minutes to go.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Pickup of maybe a half a yard. Let's call it 2nd down and 10 for Kecoughtan. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Kecoughtan leading 21-14. Tony Jordan thinks about tossing the ball back to the trailing man and then decides not to and gets to the 10-yard line on his own.
Well, it was a good thing he didn't, because it would have been a loss. There was a defender back there. That was a very good move by Tony. Well, now you're Kecoughtan. You got a pretty good field goal kicker. Do you try to get the first down of the score, or do you get the ball in the center of the field?
That was the replay of Jordan's carry. 3rd down and about 7. On the option, Tony Jordan cuts it inside. He's down to the 5-yard line. He's pushed back. He may have actually only gotten to the 6.
Tony Jordan keeping the ball for the Warriors. Stopping the play by number
And it's
8.
going to be 4th down. So the Raiders defense has come up big here to stop the Warriors. And now you're Kurt Newsom. What do? Do you go for
Field
the 3?
goal, absolutely. You got to go the field goal.
To attempt the field goal for the Kecoughtan Warriors, number 26, Eric Long. Out of the hold of number 8.
Eric Long, out of the Tony Jordan hold, will try the field goal. This will be a 24-yarder if it's good. It's long enough, and it's good.
That was true.
24-yard field goal attempt is good.
Say, now you put the Raiders in a position where they have to score 2 times, and look what kind of time they took off the clock, Tim. We got 6 minutes, so they took almost 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes off of the clock, went down and scored. The pressure is really on the Raiders.
Well, we told you it was going to be a good ball game, and it has lived up to its billing. These 2 teams playing excellent football tonight, and a well-matched 2 teams. They'll both have a strong opportunity to advance to additional postseason play. And of course, that will be a factor determined by a lot of other things that go on, so we won't even try and get into that.
I'm not even going to go into the playoff picture. But now, if you're Kecoughtan, don't let down, because this Raider group can really carry back they can do a run back.
66 yards, 12 plays, 5 minutes and 31 seconds. So in the second half, the Warriors have used almost an entire quarter of time on 2 drives. This is the man who did it against Phoebus, but he won't do it against Kecoughtan.
When he got back to the 20, and that was it. The special teams for their Warriors are doing great.
For the Warwick Raiders.
So here's what happened. To start the 3rd quarter, the Warriors went 6 minutes and 16 seconds, this time 5.5 minutes, so they used up almost an entire quarter on 2 possessions and both scores. You can't do it any better than
Right,
that.
and if you remember my interview with Kurt Newsom, he says that's our philosophy, is to keep the ball and not let the offensive team have it, and he's exactly what he's doing.
24-14, inside of 6 minutes to go. Haskett, it will not get much, maybe a yard or 2.
Well, I see number 81, Matt Patterson, is back in there. I'm sorry, that's Matt Patterson is number 80. He's back in. Lawrence Lewis is 81, but Patterson is back in, so he was not. It was not a serious injury. I'm glad to hear that. Well, glad to see that, I should say.
Both of these teams have a couple of very large players. Kecoughtan, Alvin Foster is 5'9", 260. And on the other side of the coin for the Raiders, Robbie Purrier at 6'1", 320. Intended for Marlon Hooker. It goes incomplete. Did you hear what I said about Purrier? Actually, he's not 6'1", he's 5'10".
Well, he is big. I can see him out there. He's got 2 pants on for sure. And I've never seen 75 stretched as wide as it is.
He plays guard and tackle, I think.
Well, I tell you, he plugs.
He's been doing a fine job. He's been giving a lot of extra time for the passer, Haskett, tonight. He's done a fine job on pass blocking from that left tackle position.
Well, this is a big play. You have 3rd and long. And now you're even going to have longer. What a nice job by the Warriors. And that was number 62 that was back there chasing him, and that is
We'll bring up a 4th and 18 for the Warwick Raiders.
was that 62 or 52? That's 52 for the Warrior defense. That's the inside linebacker, Jimmy Bembury. He did a great job. He was assisted out there. There was 2 of them. You see number 62 is the other one that's doing the chasing back there. And that's Eric Copeland.
Harrell in deep punt formation. Standing at his goal line, gets a high snap, gets the kick away. It's a low kick, and it'll go out of bounds. And, well, it actually won't ever make it out of bounds. It'll go to the 40-yard line, and we'll return to Darling Stadium with the conclusion of this ball game. But first, a brief timeout. 4:06 remaining. The ball at the 40-yard line. Kecoughtan leading by 10. This is Cal Key with the ball for about 2 or 3. And now, of course, all the Warriors want to do is just burn that clock out with a 10-point lead and the ball. And they have 3:45 remaining. And the clock is moving. It looks pretty good for the Warriors at this point.
Carrying the ball to the Warriors, number 2, Michael Williams.
3:22 remaining.
Played by number 34, James Jolly.
Well, Bob, you're going to make it down to the sidelines this evening to see if you can talk to...
I think I'm going to
not
get
as
ready
cold
to
as it
head
was
on
last
down
week.
there. If I get Scotty to turn on the portable mic, I'll talk to you from down there.
All right, and we got a timeout. It gives us an opportunity to discuss a little further our picks for players of the game. And Bob and I are pretty much in agreement that it should be between Tony Jordan, Lawrence Lewis, perhaps Mike Williams or Mike Thacker. And I do hesitate to do this, but I want to remind you folks that this is done purely unscientifically. We don't have any crystal ball or anything. We certainly don't want to slight any particular players. The players on the field tonight have played outstanding football, a lot more than the numbers we may even mention. So please don't think we're slighting anyone, but we do this just to award a plaque and a t-shirt for what we deem to be the more outstanding play of the evening. And I think that I'm going to go along with Bob. Lawrence Lewis did a fine job, as did Thacker and Williams, but I'm going to agree with you, Bob, on Tony Jordan as our player of the game for the Kecoughtan Warriors. His general leadership on the field has been outstanding. He's done a great job running the offense tonight.
Yeah, baby, let's do it, O. Let's do it.
Tony Jordan will be our player of the ball game. But this game is not over yet, so don't go away. 3:22 remaining. And this is Cal Key. It'll be 4th down and 4 for the Warriors. Clock continues to move with 3:06 remaining. Get a chance to watch the replay of the last play. Yeah. Then again, maybe we won't.
Knock it off. fellas. Back it up.
So it's 4th down, and the clock continues to move. 2:58 remaining. Kecoughtan not in any hurry. They don't want to use any more, or rather, they want to use as much time as they can before a penalty might be called. Referee Kenny Self is checking the game clock very carefully. And now a flag will be thrown for a delay of the game penalty.
No, Tim. Tim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That was not a delay of game. What happened was the Kecoughtan Warriors, 2 of them moved. They were trying to get the Raiders to move, and the 2 linemen on the Warriors moved, which is illegal procedure encroachment. I'm right down here in good area.
Good ball foul. False start. Offense.
Fourth down. We'll make it 4th and 9 for Kecoughtan.
Yeah, it was your call. You're absolutely right. And I think Kecoughtan was just as anxious to let the clock run out as well, so they didn't care either way, as long as they used as much time as they could, and they did. And the clock is restarted in high school ball, so it continues to run now even after the penalty with 2:20 remaining. And Warwick with just 1 timeout remaining. Now the Warriors with a 4th and 9, and Tony Jordan will not get anywhere close to the first down. And the Warwick Raiders will take over. That will stop the clock with 2:06 remaining. The Raiders 60 yards away from the end zone with just 1 timeout remaining, and they trail by 10.
Hey, Tim.
Yes, Bob.
We need to come up with a player of the game. I'm going to go with Tony Jordan. I think he's done an excellent job. Not to slight the rest of those young men, Lawrence Lewis and Thacker and the rest of them, but that's my pick.
Well, you probably couldn't hear me because you were working your way down to the field, but I already concurred with you and have awarded the game player of the game to him. So I was in a concurrence with you, and Tony Jordan will be our Kecoughtan High School player of the game. Incomplete pass. 1:55 remaining.
I tell you, Tim, I'm picking you up, but I'm getting a lot of fans and announcer and everybody else. Did you concur with me?
Yes, as I said, I before you even got down to the field, I had already agreed with your pick. Tony Jordan is our player of the game. Haskett, again, incomplete pass as he is well off the mark.
It's almost desperation time for the Warriors. I'm sorry, for the Raiders. They got to pick 10 points up, and with 1:50 to go, and you know that the Warriors are not going to give up the long bomb. They'll let you have the short one, but that's it.
1 minute and 50 seconds remaining. Third down and 10 for the Raiders. Flip to Jernigan. Jernigan on the halfback pass. He'll never get it away. The ball is fumbled and loose.
I think the whistle was blown before it fumbled, Tim.
By number 52, Danny Gifford. Now host the Warriors.
So it brings up a 4th down as they'll rule the ball was dead. You see Tony Jordan down on the sideline with a ice pack on his right knee. So we're not sure of the severity of the injury to the player of the game, Tony Jordan, as the Raiders call their final timeout with just 1:25 remaining. Tony Jordan, who has been chosen as our player of the game, down on the sidelines. The Warriors with a 10-point lead. We invite you to stay tuned for some interviews at the conclusion of our ball game, and then we'll have, for you fans who like to watch the bands perform at halftime, we'll have our entire halftime activities
talked to Tony
performed.
He's okay. He's just got a little bit of a knot on his. He's put the ice on, and I will talk to him at the end of the ball game.
Bob, we can't hear you at all. You're breaking up completely. I don't know what you said. You want to try that again? The band is drowning you out. Well, we'll just, you said something about Tony Jordan. Can you repeat that, Bob? Bob, can you hear me? Okay. Well, then don't listen to me, Bob. I don't care if you walk away.
Oh, now I can. Well, now I can hear. I can't hear you when the band is beating the drums. You're coming in and piecemeal.
What did you say about Jordan, if I may ask?
Oh, I've talked to Jordan. He has the ice on his knee. He's got a kind of a bruise, and it's not real serious. And in fact, he's hobbling out on the field right now. He did say that he would talk to me at the end of the ball game.
All right, the ball goes over to the Warriors on the 4th down, incompletion. And Kecoughtan will have the ball. Here's your replay. Mario Haskett, whose accuracy has declined rapidly here in the 4th quarter, threw this one long in a desperation attempt. And it was well off the mark for the incomplete pass, and the ball goes over to Kecoughtan. And all they have to do is snap the ball, and this will be their ball game as the Raiders can no longer call additional timeouts. Tony Jordan takes the snap, goes to one knee, and now the clock will continue to move. I believe the Warriors will have to snap the ball one more time with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in the ball game, and they have come from behind. They trailed 7-0 as the Warwick Raiders took the opening kickoff and drove the length of the field for the touchdown. The Warriors tied it at 7. The Raiders went back up on top 14-7. The Warriors tied it on a 73-yard pass and catch to Mike Thacker from Tony Jordan in the waning moments of the first half to tie it at 14, and then the second half has belonged all to the Kecoughtan Warriors as they scored 10 second half points, and they hold on now.
Game. Offense, 2nd down.
There you saw the call from Kenny Self, our referee, and again we thank the officials for all of their cooperation in using the microphone tonight, and Larry Malloy and his group for the assistance in setting up our game for tonight. As usual, we have all of the cooperation you would ever want to have here at Darling Stadium. One more snap of the ball for the Warriors should just about do it. Jordan takes the snap and goes to one knee. And that should just about wrap it up, depending on how long it takes them to set the ball. It looks like somebody is about to get wet. I have a feeling that Kurt Newsom may be going to take a shower a little early tonight as the Warrior players are about to give him the old ice bucket routine. I think the coaching staff is about to get real damp. Here we go. Look out, folks. John Pauls and Kurt Newsom as the Warriors win the ball game. So 10 second half points. Tony Jordan's superb quarterbacking, Lawrence Lewis and many others on offense and defense sealed the victory for the Kecoughtan Warriors as they improve their record to 7-2, 6-2 in the district, and they continue to hold the mastery as they now have won 14 times in 17 tries against the Warwick Raiders. Stay tuned as Bob Hintz will have Tony Jordan, our player of the game, for some post-game comments. And then those of you who have family and friends that are involved with the band and the cheerleaders and the majorettes, stay tuned for that. As the conclusion of our ball game, we'll have the entire halftime activities for you to view as well.
Hey, Tim, I'll get with you as soon as I get Coach Kurt Newsom wanted to talk with his team real quick. So I'm going to let him talk with them, and then I'll catch him later, okay?
Sure, now I have to ad-lib for about 5 minutes. There you saw the replay of the dumping of the buckets as the coaching staff, Johnny Pauls and Kurt Newsom in particular, were given the old orange cooler shower a little early. I tell you what, they're probably quite glad that it was this week that they got it and not last week, as last week with 40-degree plus temperatures, it could have been very uncomfortable for those men, although I'm sure at this point, with the big win over the Warwick Raiders, they really could care less about the ice. The Kecoughtan Warriors have proven to some of the doubters who might have said that they couldn't win against a good ball club. They had won 6 times, and against all of their victories were against teams that did not have winning records. And of course, that little argument now really pretty much goes out the window, as the Warwick Raiders coming in with a fine 6-2 overall record.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to have Tony Jordan here.
All right, Bob, at your convenience, if you would go ahead and take it away.
Hey, Tim, I got Tony Jordan here. Tony, fantastic game.
Well, thanks a lot. Teammates did a great job all week practicing. Coaches prepared us really well. The line did an excellent job today. The running backs, everything seemed to click at the beginning. It was kind of, we weren't as crisp as we were, but as the game went on, we did much better.
You look like a better team, but you wouldn't expect Kecoughtan to have 3 touchdown passes.
Well, Warwick's defense put us in a situation to pass, and so we had to, take what they gave us, and the pass was there, and we were just fortunate that, we came up on a successful end of that. And, I'm real proud of the line and everything. I mean, everything seemed to work out just fine tonight.
They really did. You had 2 good drives in the second half. That first drive went over 6 minutes. The second drive, when you got the field goal, went 5.5.
Yeah, well, we wanted to take a little time off the clock. Once we scored the first touchdown to make it 21-14, we wanted to take a little time off the clock and kind of milk the clock down to our benefit, because time was definitely on our side tonight.
Well, listen, we congratulate you. You're a player of the game. I'm going to have a plaque and a shirt for you.
I appreciate it.
Good enough. Good luck to you the rest of the time. Here's the rest of the Kecoughtan kids.
That's Sean Stacy with you there, Bob.
We're going to the playoffs, and Big Green is going to take over everything. I'm here to tell you, Kecoughtan rule, baby. Yeah.
I'm going to get Kurt Newsom as soon as he gets talking to Mike Cage.
All right. Gives me a chance to review the scoring in the game. Melvin Haskett started off as the Raiders, as I mentioned, took the opening kickoff and drove the length of the field. Haskett scored. Then Thacker caught a 10-yard pass from Tony Jordan to tie it at 7. Mario Haskett ran 8 yards to go up 14-7 for.
Hey, Tim, I got Coach
Raiders.
Newsom here. Coach, I don't know what you told those guys. That second half, they look like a different team.
We came out and kept the football in the second half on that possession. It took a lot of air out of them. We'd hit the big lick right there before half, and then came out and took it in the end zone. I'm real proud of them. We did a great job.
I was impressed with your offensive line in the second half. I mean, they were opening some holes.
They were getting the surge up front. We're big and strong up front, and we're real proud of those guys. And Cal and Michael just ran real tough. They ran big tonight. They're little guys, and they just ran real hard and got a positive yardage for us.
Well, they really did. Did you expect to have 3 touchdown passes?
No, but if they take that run away, you've got to be able to go to it.
Well, I tell you did a great job. In fact, I was calling. I said this is an area where I would pass. I felt like I was on the sideline.
Right.
I guessed right for a change.
Well, we were just fortunate tonight that we completed those, and we're real happy with the win.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look for you in the rest of the season. All right, Tim, let's go back up to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And again, I'll wrap up the scoring very quickly for you. Mike Thacker had 2 touchdowns. Lawrence Lewis had a touchdown catch, as you said. 3 touchdown passes for Tony Jordan, our player of the game. And Lewis scored a 17-yard touchdown with 5:44 to go in the third. And then to top it off, Eric Long hit a 24-yard field goal to round out the scoring, making the final score 24-14. The Kecoughtan Warriors improved their record to 7-2, and likewise very strongly improved their opportunity to continue in postseason play. The Warwick Raiders go to 6-3, and again, they still have a chance at some postseason play. Only the time will tell. The way these playoffs are set up, it's rather complicated, and there would be no way for us to know at this point who is in and who is out. Well, that's going to do it. The final score again from Darling Stadium. The Kecoughtan Warriors sole possession of second place with a 24-14 victory over the Warwick Raiders. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole and the entire crew. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.